Look at me, I'm a little perler bead guybrush, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. Ah ha ha. Ah ha 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 ha. Okay. Let's get back to where we left off here. We were about to launch into Herman Toothrot's dialogue. And don't worry that that perler bead Herman on the left. I didn't have a joke plan. He's inanimate. Okay, let's get started. All right. So, so when you first land on Monkey Island, you're face down in the sand with a fire, your pants literally on fire. And this is your first exposure to Herman Toothrot. He walks up to introduce himself. So, hi, I'm Herman Toothrot. Salve, nomen mihi Stalmilios Toothrot. And then you don't say anything because you're unconscious and on fire. And then so he gets a little upset and passive aggressive. Don't bother to say hello. Oh, necesse non est tibi meu resalutare aliquid cura. Oh, it's not necessary for you to say hello back to me. Care about another thing. So this is an idiomatic expression that appears in Roman comedies and things, saying, just don't worry about it. Care about something else. Aliud cura. And then I've only been waiting 20 years to talk to somebody civilized. I don't mind. Viginti tantuanos quad humanitate excultum excultu expectavi quicum coluquar nil igitur tuo silentio commovior. So for only 20 years I have awaited someone, and here's that phrase again for civilized, someone polished to humanity, cultivated to civility, waited for someone, a proper cultured person with whom I might speak. I am not moved. I am moved nothing at all. Therefore, by your silence. So yeah. So maybe over translated again, but yeah, just he's very passive aggressive. Like, oh no, don't mind me. I don't mind. And then quicon is often used in place of quocon, just as the just a variant form when you're using the cum with the relative pronoun, that it often, especially when you're talking about people, it takes the form of quicum instead of quocum. And then you still don't respond to him. So fine, bene, agut livet. Fine, do as you wish. By the way, you might want to think about putting out that fire. Hoc utique dicam, fieri potestud tecum cogitare velis delvig nextinguendo. So this, at any rate, I will say, it may be that you would want to think with yourself about extinguishing that fire. So actually pretty literal translation there. You may want to think about, I kind of, this is idiomatically and grammatically how that those nested clauses end up looking. It's possible. It's possible that it would happen that you might wish to think with yourself about extinguishing that fire, about that fire to be extinguished using that gerundive. And then someone could be hurt, and then my version is continuing the sentence. You might want to think about extinguish that fire. Nequis aduratur, lest someone should be burned, lest someone get burned. Obviously, which I thought it was funny. I don't know. I could have used other words for get hurt, but I specified get burned just because I thought it was funny, because he's, like in the original, Guybrush is already currently on fire as he's saying that, and then he just stomps away in a huff because you won't speak to him, despite the situation you're obviously in. Okay, so then and then this is the paper that Guybrush said it was better to leave it there. This is the paper memo that you can't pick up. This is a meeting, an announcement of a meeting for the cannibals. So notice of public meeting. There will be a meeting Wednesday evening to discuss the recent occupation of the sacred monkey head by the ghost pirate LeChuck and the subsequent impact on the environment and the tourist trade. All Monkey Island cannibals are encouraged to attend. Okay, so conventus publicus nuntiatus est. So a public meeting has been announced. Diei mercuri vespere conveniemus ut agitemus de sacro capite simiae quod nupera pirata phantasmatico LeChuck occupatus. We will convene the evening of the day of Mercury, right? That's Wednesday. It's Odin's Day, or Woden's Day in English, but it's Mercury's Day in Latin and a lot of the Romance languages. We will convene on the evening of the day of Mercury, so that we might agito can be used to describe conversing with someone about something, having a big conversation, discussion about something. So then we might talk about the sacred monkey head, the sacred head of the monkey, which recently has been occupied by the ghost pirate LeChuck. Okay, so here's some Neo-Latin creeping in here. In dioicus systema insulae cumercioque periegetico quae propteriambo detriment va caperunt. So and about the ecosystem of the island and the tourism commerce, the tourism industry. Periegesis in Greek is like traveling, and so periegetikos having to do with travel. In a Neo-Latin context, this word is used to describe tourism. So about the ecosystem of the island and the tourist industry, which because of all these things, which as a result, both have received detriment. Both have suffered losses. Both the ecosystem of the island and the tourism business have suffered losses because of the occupation of LeChuck. And then vos omnes anthropopagos qui Monkey Island incolitis urtamurut intercities. All you cannibals who live on Monkey Island, who inhabit Monkey Island, we encourage that you participate. So that's that. So that's the meeting announcement from the cannibals. Your first clue the entire joke of the cannibals in this game is you're combining these kind of problematic tropes from early 20th century, late 19th century, like adventure stories and depictions of indigenous people. And the game doesn't do anything to really. It's perpetuating those tropes, but it's certainly not the worst offender. Even from this time period, there's stuff from the 80s that that's much worse than this, and even much later. Like the Pirates of the Caribbean movies even had, cannibal, very kind of problematic cannibal sequence and stuff. But yeah, the joke in Monkey Island with these cannibals is it's combining those tropes of this uncivilized tribe of human eating people who eat people, and combining that with a lot of the the sort of normalcy, the concerns of white suburban Americans, right? So they're having these sort of like the what do you call them? Like a housing committee meeting kind of situation, or like later they no longer eat people, not for any moral or ethical objections to cannibalism, but because they're concerned about their diet, and they're kind of into new age dieting fads and stuff, and they're trying to be healthier. So that's basically what the Monkey Island cannibals boil down to, and it's still it doesn't age well, but it's not as bad as it could be, especially even compared to other media from this time period. I don't know. There's certainly a share of this stuff in mainstream 80s media. Things like in Indiana Jones movies and stuff, even. But yeah, it's a product of its time, and I think it's telling that in Return to Monkey Island, the most recent game, they don't even address the cannibals at all, because it's probably not a great probably not a respectful way to modernize that portrayal of them. Like I said, I'm doing my best to try to translate what's in the game accurately, and not add anything more of my own problematic to it. But but yeah, that's the situation with the cannibals. Okay, and then we're back to talking with Herman. So now this is what Herman says to you when you're on the cliffside where you're dropping, where you can drop the rocks down onto the artwork and launch them across the island. So Herman walks up and says, "I never get tired of this view. Huios prospectus nunquam me taedet." I never get sick, or this, the grammatical structure of taedet, where the person who is bored or is disgusted or whatever is in the accusative, and the thing that they're bored of is in the genitive. So, but yeah, it never bores me of this view, or I never get tired of this view. Even if I have been looking at it for 20 years now, Etzianos yon vigenti ye waspik. lot of elisions here. Etianos yung wigent ye waspico. Even if for 20 years now, I am looking at it. Right, I think we mentioned this before. That doesn't have that paraphrastic, like progressive and completed tense English has, like I have been doing. You just use the present for that. Even if I have been looking at it for 20 years now, even if it is the only view on the island, etsi solus prospectus est in insula, even if it is the only view on the island. Okay, and then jumping around, all of Herman's dialogue for all the screens that he can appear on is all together here. So let's see. So this is an old friend of mine, the one I sailed here with. So this is at the dried riverbed where the captain of the sea monkey, whose captain's log you read earlier in the game, you find that he has died by hanging. He's a corpse hanging from a rope, and well, you'll see the game tells us that it was a terrible accident while trying to hang up a swing, is what the game tells us. But I think there's a strong implication that he died by suicide because he couldn't stand being stuck on this island with Herman. But yeah, so kind of a dark joke there, but there's definitely a lot of dark humor in the Monkey Island games. But yeah, and so Herman's just casually introducing you to this hanging corpse of the captain. So yeah, here's an old friend of mine, the one I sailed here with. Ecce vetos amicus meos, ille quicuc navigavi. Behold, my old friend, the one with whom I navigated here. And then he has lost weight. Paululunquidem macruit. So, a very little bit indeed. He has become thin. He has become emaciated. He is thinned out quite a bit. And then, which, so you can kind of see like the, for the Romans, somebody losing weight, like obesity wasn't a problem in the ancient world the way it is in our world, where there's too much food and too much food of poor nutritional value available to people. So generally words in Latin for getting thinner all have a negative connotation. The implication is that someone is sick if they've been losing a lot of weight. It's never really something that's said in a positive sense. So, but yeah, he's thinning out a little. Never looked better, but then so because of the Latin connotations, I needed a contrast here. So it said nunquam ut mihi videtur meliore valetudine usus. So he's has indeed thinned out a bit, but never, as it seems to me, has he enjoyed better health, or has he been using a form of utor with valetudine as a way of to describe your health, to be in a certain state. So to enjoy health, or to have a certain health state. So he seems to have thinned out a little bit, but never, as it seems to me, has he been in better health. And I specifically made it about health rather than his appearance, because I think to within ancient idiom and ancient connotation, saying someone looks skeletal from malnutrition, and I think they look beautiful. It would be an odd thing to say, and maybe it says something about our own society that I don't know that our associations are different, but so I made it about itself that it seems stand out a bit, but said never, as it seems to me, has he enjoyed better health. And of course, the joke in both cases, right, he's talking about a corpse. And Guybrush has a dialogue line down later where he points out, like, he doesn't seem very healthy to me, or something like that. We'll see what that is in a moment. And then when you're near the monkey head, Herman will pop up and talk about it. That monkey head, some piece of work, eh? And then ilod caput simiai vere mirons, nonne? So that head of the monkey is truly marvelous, is it not? And then and then here we come to the first consequence of my decision to translate the giant cotton swab as a two-headed Zulu spongio. So, because here's a hint that the Monkey Island key is a giant Q-tip, and you open the monkey head by putting it in the monkey's ears. So it gives you a nasty case of yellow waxy buildup, though. But because I've turned this Q-tip into a toilet brush, I have to now make you associate the monkey's ears with Roman toilets. So let's see how I did that. Et si tantas sorde refertai sunt eaures quanta cloaca sub forica die festo fufai. So even if its ears are stuffed with so much filth, sordis is just dirt is the word the Romans used for earwax. Even if the ears to it are stuffed up with so much filth, so much earwax, or with as much earwax or as much filth as the sewer under a public restroom on a festival day. Gross. Fufai. So that's the situation I have here, to make you associate the monkey's ears with a toilet. I'm like using that comparison. They're as stuffed with, and I get in Latin. I get away. Sorde, can refer to the earwax, the filth of a person's ears, or any type of filth, including the whatever horrible things you might find in a sewer on a festival day. And of course, talking about specifically referencing Roman public restrooms and festival days and stuff. It's a specific Roman cultural reference, right? It's like localized for the Roman audience. But it's it's like Monkey Island is a world of anachronism. So I think it's fair game to have things that represent things from Roman culture in the same way that the game mixes in things from modern times into its 18th century pirate world. So and since a Zulu Spongion is a specific artifact of Roman culture, it makes sense to try to especially have you associate it with Roman toilets. And then oh hi. I did read Nasty Case Yellow Waxy Buildup. Oh, I did read the original English, didn't I? But yeah. Oh hi, I was just looking for the natives to get them to return my banana picker, but I can't seem to find them. So when you're at the cannibals' village and Herman's there trying to get his banana picker back. Oh salve, indigenas modoquaero, quibus persuadiaut instrumentua darienas calpendas mihi redont. I am just looking for the indigenous folks whom I would persuade. Right, this is a subjunctive in a relative clause expresses purpose. In order to persuade them, or who I might persuade. And now here's another purpose clause with ut. But yeah, to persuade them to return to me my instrument, my tool for picking bananas. Sed eos in venire non posevidior. But I seem unable to find them. And then this is back to I think when you're on the Monkey Island tall cliff side, but Herman notices your ship. If you haven't sunk it yet, look at that fabulous ship out there. Nile navis poc extralitos. So behold that beautiful ship beyond the shore. I wasn't, out there is so vague that I needed to be more. I felt like I needed to be more specific. I could have just used extra on its own as an adverb out there, but beyond the shore. Look at that beautiful ship out beyond the shore. And then, and I'm not sure what the difference is. Why he says. Well, and then did you come in that? Iano cuectos? Were you carried here on that? By that? But then there's an alternate version. Did you come in the ship I saw out there? You're braver than you look. Maybe this is the version if you've already sunk the ship. I'm not sure, because then it becomes in the past tense. But ilane nave quali extralitos vidi huquectos. In that ship, which I saw beyond the shore, were you carried here? And you're braver than you look. Tu quidem fortiores comideris. You're indeed braver than you look. But I don't know why. In one context, Herman's praising the way the ship looks. In the other context, he's saying that it looks dangerous to sail on it. So I'm not sure. But then I think either way, then he moves on to this next line. Actually, it looks a lot like a ship I used to own, because it is the sea monkey, the same ship that took him here 20 years ago. So le guerra similimas navi quae hiolierat. So actually, it's very similar to a ship which was once mine. Okay, and then so here we have some of Guybrush's dialogue options in response to him. So yes, it is a nice view. Esquidum bellos prospectos. It is indeed a fine view. Or I don't care for it myself. Eguipsum prospectum nihil moror. Literally, I myself do not delay nothing for this view. So moror with an accusative, and then a negate non or nihil. This is an idiomatic expression to say, you don't care for it. It's not to your taste. You don't stop to, it doesn't stop you in your tracks, I guess. I delay nothing for this view. And then what happened to him? So this is asking about the corpse of the captain. Quid yacidit? What happened to him? And then he looks pretty bad. So this is your response to Herman saying he's never been in better health. Ismalis siebere videtur. He seems to be holding himself badly. And of course, that expression, miabio or siabet, it's to hold oneself is to be feeling a certain way. So it's a way, one way of asking how someone is, like along with like utwales, you can say quomodo tiabes. How do you hold yourself? But yeah, he seems to be doing poorly. And then I saw a monkey leaving here. He must have done it. So this is in response to dialogue that for some reason isn't with the rest of the Herman's dialogue up here. When you're at the fort that Herman turned into his home, and you can spell you spill gunpowder all over the floor by touching a cannon that's there. And then Herman comes and demands to know what happened. But for some reason that scene is described way later down in the script. But this is a possible response to it. So I saw a monkey leaving here. He must have done it. And I don't know if this is only a response you have if you're in this situation when the monkey's still following you or what. But yeah. Hinca biere simium vidi, veri similest eoc fecisse. So I saw a monkey leaving from here. It's likely that it did it, or that she did it. I don't know if this is the first time in this translation the phrase "veri similest" is coming up. It is very useful. It's the way to say that it's likely that something is the case, but literally, it's similar to the truth that whatever the indirect statement is. So I think this is another phrase I end up using a whole lot. I'm surprised. But I think this might be the first time I've used it in this translation so far as I'm going down. I am gonna, might as well, I've been writing out, the contracted, or writing out the proto-lesions with apostrophes. So but then I have to make sure those stay the same length. For reasons for the code, because these are all phrases that can appear in the same space, so the strings have to be the same length. So yeah, it's likely that I saw a monkey leaving from here. It's likely that she did it, or that it did it, and then or you can own up to being the one who knocked the gunpowder everywhere, and say, "Oh, sorry." And so, veniam peto. I seek forgiveness. I beg for mercy. I would have knocked, but I couldn't find a door. So this is also asking, why you came in without knocking or without announcing your presence. And so, pulsasun si januain venire potuisen. So I would have, this is the syncopated or contracted form of the pulsawisen. But yeah, I would have knocked if I had been able to find a door. And then I knocked. You must not have heard. Ego janium posavi, said tu non adiisti. So I knocked on the door, but you did not hear. I was just more direct to the sort of, you must not have heard, like to make the sort of, I don't know, playing around with subjunctives, or maybe I thought it was easier just to just just use the indicative, but you didn't hear. because yeah, I'm not sure what idiomatic expression might be the best in Latin for, you have to have done something, or well, it's not actually must. Yeah, used that way in English. It's um, probably this could have been a situation for fieri potest or veri simile est again. So it's likely that, or it's possible that you didn't hear. But I just to keep it simple, and also because I need to make all the lines in the dialogue need to be short, otherwise they go off the screen when I'm testing the game and running through it all. That's something I'm really going to be looking for, is making sure all the lines fit. But yeah, yes, it's quite impressive. Oh, I think this is in response to when he's talking about the monkey head. So yeah, yes, it's quite impressive. Es quid admirabile. It is indeed marvelous. And then, what? Quid? I don't know what in particular that's in response to, but Herman says a lot of crazy things. So, and then, when you're talking about, so he asks, he's asking about the ship, and then so you can reply, I got taken by a guy named Stan. So you can start to tell him about, Stan who sold you the ship. Abomin e muntosum nomine Stanislao. So literally, I had my nose blown by a man with the name Stanislaus, which is it's a Slavic name, and this is Stanislaus is the Latinization of where Stan comes from. So I got my nose blown by him. So this is an idiomatic expression that shows up in Roman comedy to describe when someone is, cheated out of their money. If someone's scammed, they have their nose blown by someone. And then, what do you mean braver than I look? Quid dicere vis? Quomodo fortiorsum convidior? What do you mean to say? How, in what way, am I braver than I look? And then, leave me alone, would you? So here's a very kind of archaic and idiomatic way of saying, leave me alone, stop bothering me, found in Roman comedy. Putnot mihi molestos nesis. So can it be that you not be annoying to me? Like structurally, it looks very strange. And then, this poten, potis is the positive form of like potios, like rather. You don't see that very often in classical Latin. And it forms the first part of the elements of like possum and stuff. Like possum is like a contraction of potus sum, like that's what it would have been in like an earlier form of Latin. And then so this is obviously either, so the potin is either like like potos s with the s left out, or it's just potes, and it becomes an I when you stick the nay on it, or whatever. And then just like the use of both the ut and the nay together. I guess you sometimes see that in classical texts, but yeah. So but can it be that you stop being a pest to me? Can it be that you stop being an annoyance to me? But yeah. So this is a very, very idiomatic way of saying you leave me alone, found in Roman comedies. And then I'm afraid I must be going now. Pressing business, Hee hee. So this is, I guess, when you've run out of things to say, Herman can excuse himself and leave on his own. So Nosce mihi, quiom discedendost, non res graves qui licit mihi suscipiendae sunt. Hahai. So, forgive me, for whom there must be a leaving. Forgive me who must now leave. For obviously grave matters, important matters must be undertaken by me. Haha. So I don't know why. Well, important pressing business. Res graves. Yeah, it's a good enough translation. Good enough as any. Yeah. Grave matters must be attended to by me. And then don't be a jerk. Oh, I think maybe this is when you tell him to leave. But this might be a line I change when I figure out what the context is. But nulli stultus asinos esse. So don't be a stupid ass. Don't be as stupid. Of course, literally donkey. You could call someone donkey as an insult, as an ass to mean that they're like a stubborn jerk. Don't be a stupid ass. And then okay, and then when you're asking, what happened to the captain whose corpse you found? Oh, nasty accident. Oh, infelix casus fuit. There was an unlucky, accident. There was an unlucky falling out of things, unlucky happenstance. He was trying to put up a swing. Quis osculum suspendere quonaretur. So there was an unlucky accident when he was trying to hang up an osculum, or is it masculine? Osculus? I'm not sure. Some Neo-Latin, I think the Neo-Latin lexicon uses this for what we would think of as a swing, like a porch swing or whatever. But literally, it means, you can probably tell from the roots, it means little face, little mouth. Because what an osculum was to an ancient Roman person was it was like a wind chime with little images of Bacchus's face on it that would hang up in trees. But either way, however you want to interpret that with a Neo-Latin idea of like a porch swing, or if you want to interpret it as the Roman thing. Either way, it's something that's hung from a tree, and Herman saying that he was trying to hang up this whatever this was, and then there was an accident that resulted in him being hanged. And then I think we're back to talking about the monkey head. So it'd be a great tourist attraction if anybody could ever find the island. So peregrinatores huc unique venerent ad illud spectaculum visendo, si modo quis invenire scieret hanc so pilgrims, tourists, travelers would come here from everywhere in order to see that spectacle. If only anyone knew how to find this island. Yep. And then a lot of imperfect subjunctives in there. Because it's like contrary to fact. Like if this were the case, they would do this if it were like this. Um, okay, and then well, that's okay. So this is if you own up to knocking down the gunpowder. Bene, sine curesis. It is well. Be without care. Don't worry. Next time, be more careful. Sed postac res alienas muliter tractari de babies. So, um, uh, but after this, you will have to handle the things of other people more softly. So, yeah, so I got more specific in my translation, which seems to be a trend. Because well, I don't because if it's just like postdoc kawe, but after this be cautious, look out. I don't know. I feel when I'm rendering it in Latin, I feel like I need to provide more detail to make the lines feel good. I don't know. Maybe that's just because, as a non-native speaker of Latin, I feel like the more information a sentence has, the more intelligible it is. Whereas, obviously, the English lines get away with leaving out a lot of information, and Latin can leave out a lot of information if it's known from context. But I don't know. This is how I translated it. And then when you mention Stan, Herman, recognizes the name Stan. Stan's used ships. So Stanislaone, and it's ablative because he's just repeating the case that Guybrush used when he said he was cheated by Stan. Stanislaone, es nidum Stanislaos qui naves priori uso tritas vendit. So yeah, this idea describing the used ships. Stan, is it the same Stan who sells ships worn out from prior use? So as a way of describing something as used, I think this is maybe suggested somewhere. May even been in Smith and Hall suggesting this as a way to describe something as being used. I don't know if it's classically attested though to say something's worn out by prior use. But on Melee Island, Stan's used ships on Melee Island. Is the same Stan who sells ships worn out from prior use in Insula Melee on Melee Island. Hey. I know. I like the Latin onomatopoeia for laughter always ends with this. Not always, but often ends with the hi, hi, and I think it's funny to actually read it as it's written. Hi. I don't know if it's just to imply that it's plural ha-ha-has, like as if it's a feminine noun, or what, or if I like to think that when the Romans laughed, that's just how they did it. Ha 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 hi. That's just what they said, and what it sounded like. No, I don't know. Okay, but hey, don't knock it. So this is when you say that you don't like the view. Hey, no diem respure. Hey, don't literally don't spit on it. Don't spit back on it. Don't. But yeah, don't spurn it. Don't spit on it. Don't knock it. It's the only one I've got. Non solo est aquabio. For it is the only one which I have. And then in response to Guybrush saying that the captain doesn't seem to be doing too well, Herman responds, "You never saw him when he was alive." And so, non cum vidisti. You never saw him living. So that works out. And then, if you tried to say that the monkey did it, or that you tried to knock, or you knocked and Herman didn't hear you, you don't fool me, Sonny. Mi padre non pote so puer. You can't fool me, oh boy. And then, oh, nothing. Oh, es nihil. This is when you ask him, what do you mean I'm braver than I look? Oh, nothing. Never mind. Oh, es nihil. Mi som fac. It's nothing. Make it sent. So here's another idiomatic expression saying, don't worry about it. Send it from your mind. I think, and it's used that way, at least in like Neo-Latin conversation. I think the attested version of this is actually in the context of like, I think I read in like gladiatorial fights as a way of showing mercy on someone. So to describe rather than killing the loser of the battle, which most of the time they didn't. But when you spared their life, it's like forgive them, make it sent. But I think in both contexts, it makes sense. Put it behind us. Don't think about it. Don't worry about it. Make it sent from your mind. And then Guybrush can ask, "Are you some kind of castaway?" And then this is tricky, trying to find a specific word for castaway. Naufragos is a shipwreck victim. But Herman's situation, as we learn in a little bit, it's not that his ship wrecked. So I don't know. I was kind of like not sure exactly which word to use for castaway. I did use naufragos, and I thought, tu ne questo modi naufragos est? Are you a shipwreck victim of a certain kind? Maybe the fact that the questo modi's in there, and then also the fact that Herman's response is sarcastic. Maybe I get away with it because I never explicitly call him a naufragos, like to confirm, like, yes, that is what he is. But he is something like it. So, are you some kind of castaway? And then he responds, "What do I look like? The caretaker? Listen to this guy. Am I some kind of castaway?" Heh. Of course, the way Herman laugh, the voice actor in all the Monkey Island games, whenever he does this, the Herman laugh, heh, it's spelled exactly like like a nasalized M. The heh. But yeah. Quid vidior saltuariusne? What do I seem to be? The groundskeeper? Ali istine quid ili modo rogaret? Did you hear what that guy just asked? Egone questo modi naufrago sum. Am I a shipwreck victim of some kind? Heh, huh, heh. So, and of course that's Herman, talking directly to the audience, turning to the camera, and saying, "Hey, listen to what this guy's saying." Which Guybrush is able to ask about too in a sec. But all right, and then another set of dialogue. I thought this island was inhabited. Adducto sum ad credenduanc insulae se desertam. So I was led to believe that this island was deserted. Who are you? Quis es tu? I'm worried that line might be too long. Quis es tu? Who are you? And then who are you talking to? Yeah, so when Herman's breaks the fourth wall, who are you talking to? Quibus cum localis? With whom are you talking? And then I think I better be going now. Yo mihi onlonst. So now I must go. And then, well, you thought wrong. So when you thought the island was uninhabited, Herman responds, well, you thought wrong. in error legitur inductos. So into error, therefore, were you led. So I was led to believe this, and then you were led in error then. And then, yeah, who are you talking to? And then me? Why, the people watching, of course. Egone sane cum spectatoribus. I, obviously, with the spectators. And then, and then I think Guybrush just says, sure, in response to that, not sure how to reply. Sure? Oh, certe. And then Herman can introduce himself again. Maybe you can ask him, when you ask him, quis es tu? Even though he introduced himself earlier when you were unconscious, you can ask him again. My name's Toothrat, Herman Toothrat. Nomen mihis Toothrat, Arminius Toothrat. I live here. Hi capito. Well, not right here. Well, potios non hoc in locu nunc stamos. Or rather, not in this place where we are now standing. In the fort on the volcano. Sed in castello quod situns in margine crateris montis. So I got more specific about its location, but in the little fort, which is situated on the rim of the crater of the mountain. I was more specific because there isn't really a good Roman word for volcano that's different from mountain. When you describe, what the mountain is doing, if it, moans, if it's, uomere, if it's a erupting mountain, then, it's a volcano. But here, crater, obviously, we're like from a Greek word for a bowl, but the crater of a volcano, the caldera of a volcano, what's called that, and so the caldera of the mountain, the crater of the mountain, makes it clear you're talking about a volcano, and then on the edge of the mountain's crater. And then this is more. Sometimes it's hard to find the fort, so maybe this is good to have more specific directions. And then, were you stranded? Quid te jaccidit? Hincene relectos sine modo discedendi? So what happened to you? Were you left here without a means of leaving? So maybe I over-translated that again. And you think I stay here for my health? It's another sarcastic answer. Putasne me causa valetudinis hic morari? You think I stay here for the cause of health? So, and I know causa, usually the genitive plus causa for the cause of. The word orders, the genitive, it's supposed to come first. It should be valetudinis causa. It's not unheard of in this word order, but I just, those elisions, if I switched it around, putasne me valetudinis causaic morari. Maybe that's not too bad to say. I'll do it because it's more correct. Let me switch that around. I don't know. Obviously, my avoidance of elisions, because I find them hard to pronounce. Obviously the Romans use them all over the place. There's evidence in poetry, I think as Alan describes in Vox Latina, that in Roman poetry they tried to avoid alighting a long vowel before a short vowel, or alighting diphthongs before short vowels, which suggested to Alan that that's the implication, that they probably pronounced them together. They probably made some sort of long diphthong type sound together, rather than the whole long sound being dropped off entirely. And then so the fact that some poets avoided those elisions might be the evidence that they did try to pronounce them. But I don't know. That's just hard. I'm not good at remembering to pronounce elisions, you know. I'm not good at pronouncing long vowels and things. You know, I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. Yeah, you think I stay here for my health? You think I stay here for the cause of health? And then, who boy, Oedipal hunkene pueron, by Pollux, this boy, which I know the boy in here isn't like saying oh boy, who boy in English isn't a direct reference to the fact that he's talking to a boy, but I don't know, I decided to go that direction here, like, by Pollux, this boy, like, just, you know, still express that he's frustrated with Guybrush and what he's doing. Frustrated with Guybrush, what he sees as Guybrush's stupid questions. Okay, and then and then Guybrush can ask, how did you get stranded here? Qual si relictos? So on account of what thing were you thus stranded? Did I mean that to be Heek, perhaps? Why is that? Seek works, right? Because we know he's been stranded, so, you know, kind of what thing were you stranded in this way? And Heek would create another another illusion. So maybe that's why I did seek. So you're not the only one on the island? Itaque non solo est in insula? And so you are not the only one on the island. Did you lend something to the cannibals? Tune quid anthropophagies commodasti? Did you lend something to the cannibals? I think this dialogue option, he makes a reference to the lending things to the cannibals. I think this that makes it obvious that he has, and I think that's why this comes up. That line we haven't seen yet. And then, I'm Guybrush. I'm here to rescue someone. Gaiosum, huqueni quiestum servandi causa. So I'm Gaius. I came here for the cause of saving a particular person, for saving a certain person. The response to that line is funny. You say that you got a key from the locals? I didn't skip something up here, did I? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, well, yeah. I guess, yeah, the lines that some of these are responses to, we just haven't gotten to yet. Yeah, did you lend something to the oops, wait. You say that you got a key from the locals. Dixtine te tiab indigenis ecepise clauen? Did you say yourself to have accepted a key from the indigenous folks? I have your banana picker. Tu instrument vad ariena scalpenda sabio. So I have your instrument for picking bananas. Why don't you just give me the key to the monkey head? quin modo mihi das clavum qua caput simiae reseretur. So why not just give me the key which unlocks the monkey head? What happened to your pants? Ubi sunt bracae tuae? Where are your pants? I think I steered away from what happened to, because Ewinet and Akidit, they always seemed, usually the thing in the dative is a person. Like things happen to people more often than to objects. Or you don't often say, like, what happened to this thing? But I think you can't. I don't know. But I just said, where are they? Is the direction I went with. And then, excuse me, I've got pressing business to attend to. So now Guybrush is saying he has pressing business. Ignosce mihi, sed res graves mihi suscipiendae sunt. But forgive me, but grave matters must be attended to by me. Must be undertaken by me. Grave matters must be undertaken. Oh, that's a good pun in English. It doesn't work in Latin. Undertaker and grave, like, none of those associations work in Latin. Let's see. And then, yes, me too. He. I have things to attend to too. Certe mihi quoque. Ha ha ha. And then, okay. And then, when you ask, how did you get stranded here? Herman responds, well, I sailed here with a friend of mine 20 years ago. Huc abincanos viginti quamico meo navigavi. Here 20 years ago, I sailed with my friend. We hope to discover the secret of Monkey Island. Speravamos ene nos recult in Monkey Island repeturos esse. So we were hoping that we were about to, find the thing hidden on Monkey Island, the secret of Monkey Island. But my friend met with a horrifying and tragic accident. Sed amico casus horribilus miser quacidit, which claimed his life. Et vitamemit, which took away his life, which claimed his life. This is an expression used in Latin. And I think this phrase, the horribilus miserque, I think I might, there might be some Cicero quote that I'm taking those words from. I don't remember now. And I couldn't sail the ship back by myself. Solos equide nave domum redire non potera. Alone, indeed, for my part, I wasn't able to return in the ship. Return home in the ship. So, okay, this is how Herman got stranded here then. So he couldn't return home with the ship. So I trained a bunch of chimps to crew the ship and sail it back to Melee Island. Gregegitur simiarum navigalinstitui quas dende cunavad insula Mele remisi. So I instructed, I trained a group, therefore I trained a group of monkeys to sail, which then I sent back to Melee Island with the ship. They were supposed to get help and come back for me. Something must have happened. Eos quidum voleb auxilium petere huque pro me revenire. So I wanted them to find help and return here for me. Something else that happened. Nescio quidis accideret. I don't know what happened to them. And then, of course, Guybrush asked the obvious question: How come you didn't just go with the chimps? Quare tu modo cum simiis non isti? Why did you not merely go with the monkeys? And then Herman replies, weeks on a boat full of monkeys? Oh, joy! So yeah, I went days instead of weeks because the Romans themselves didn't have, they didn't measure time in weeks. I mean, there's like a later Greek word, hebdomas, to describe a week, or septendia. There are ways of describing a week in that. I just, to make it simpler, I just said days. Tune dies agere volvises in nave simiarum plena. Would you want to spend days in a ship full of monkeys? Oh, joy! Oh, yeah. Actually, pretty literal translation. Otherwise, okay, and then yeah, when you ask him, so you're the only one on the island? Herman says, I'm the only civilized person on the island. So, right. I think there is kind of like the, it is poking fun on, you're talking to this crazy, pantsless, raving weirdo, referring to himself as the civilized one. And then the cannibals get the same line as well when you ask them if they're the only ones on the island. They say that they're the only civilized people on the island. So that's a good joke about, how the different cultures are viewing each other. But yeah, I'm the only civilized person on the island. Hoc in insula quidum solos ad humanitate excultus homo sum. So on this island, indeed, I am the only person polished to civility. And then there's a native tribe of hunter-gatherers, head hunter-gatherers actually, but I don't talk to them. Sed hic habitat quoque tribus indiginarum venatorum legulorumque. But here lives also a tribe of indigenous hunters and gatherers. And then to describe the concept of head hunter-gatherers, quoncum quae venantur legundque sunt humana capita. Although the things which they hunt and gather are human heads. The joke of the pun with headhunter just wasn't ever going to work in Latin. But the things which they hunt and gather are human heads. And then, but I don't talk to them. And then, quies ium non colloquor. I don't talk to them now. I changed up the punctuation just to make it sound better for what I think I had, for what I have with the Latin. So in this case, I thought it was funny if it was just like an abrupt. What they collect their human heads. And then just without like a smooth transition, just saying, I don't talk to them anymore, I thought was funnier. And then putting a but after I already have an although, and yeah, that's kind of why I changed up some of that stuff. And then they are cannibals, but they're not dangerous unless you lend them something. So this is what prompts the dialogue option earlier where you can ask Herman if he lent them anything. They are cannibals, but they're not dangerous unless you lend them something. anthropophagy scilicet sunt, qui tamen tibi non periculos erunt, nisi quidis commodabis. They are obviously cannibals who, nevertheless, will not be dangerous to you unless you will. They will not be dangerous to you unless you will lend anything to them. So yeah. Future more vivid. I don't know. Both future and both parts of it. I'm thinking that non can just go right before the verb, and that gets rid of one awkward elision, and that makes the non closer to the verb. But yeah, they're obviously cannibals who, however, will not be dangerous to you unless you will lend something to them. Yeah, I guess I went with like a future more vivid kind of construction because he's certain of what he's saying, so that's why I didn't use the subjunctive, I suppose. Okay, and then so you say, I came here to rescue someone, and then Herman then thinks you're here to rescue him. So, well, here I am. Bene, hic son. Glad you came to rescue me, though you might have been a bit earlier. Gaudio te venis ad me servandum, etiam si Paulo temperios malvise. So I rejoice that you have come to save me, even if I would have preferred a little more timely. I would have preferred you do so a little more timely. The fine on that overdue library book should be pretty big by now. Non veri simile est. I don't know why I don't. I'm trying to keep consistent with my own rules. Non veri simile est me maximum pecunium motaticium pro libro ium debere quam quinti annos bibliotheca mutuatus sum. So, for it's likely that that I now owe a big amount of money, a big amount of a big fine, a big amount of money as punishment for the book which I borrowed 20 years ago from the library. Let's go. Nunc eamus. Now let's go. I don't know. I put a nunc on there. That's not exactly what I meant, Guybrush replies. Tu non est homo quomodo dixi. You're not the person whom I was just talking about. I phrased it this way since it's in the English it was I came here to find someone, but in the Latin I used quiestam. So I came here to find a certain person. So here it's making it clear, like Guybrush didn't come here to find just anyone, he came here to find a particular person, and now he's specifying that, you're not that particular person. And then he explains, I sailed here in pursuit of the governor of Malay Island, who's been kidnapped by a ghost. Hunc enem navigavi gubernatrice insulae Malay sequens cum phantasma sorripuit To here indeed I sailed, following the governor of Malay Island, whom was snatched away, whom a ghost snatched away. And then Herman then gets passive aggressive again. Oh, fine, don't rescue me. Oh, benest, non le me servare. I like it here. Hic habitare me valde delectant. So it greatly pleases me to live here. I made that even more emphatic. The rain on my head, the winds at my back, the bugs on my plate. Ab imbre super caput, cadente, vintoque adversus tergum flante, ad chimices in patella repentes. So from the rain falling down on my head, to the wind blowing against my back, to the bugs crawling on my plate. Well, perhaps I could take you back too, but I'll need to find the governor first. Fortasse tu quoque nos comitari reliuntes poteris, sed non prius proficiscemur cum gubernatric in Venero. Perhaps you also will be able to accompany us returning, but we will not set out before I will have found the governor. And then, oh, that's no problem. Because you say that, and then Herman knows exactly where she is. Oh, that's no problem. I'm sure she's on the ghost ship in the secret underground hideaway. Oh, non è difficile. Oh, it will not be difficult. Non vuoi... Wow, I really was not doing this contraction very often. Veri similis ean ille nave phantasmatica esse, quae sub terra in porto colto latet. It's likely she is in that ghostly ship, which lies in a hidden port underground. And then, really? Eintu? You say? Like, really? You say? This is an expression, it's, eis ne, right? You say, you affirm this is true. But eintu, to express disbelief or shock, is found all over Roman comedy. Eintu? How do you know this? Hoc quomo the skis? This, how do you know? How can I get there? Illuc quomo the acetan? How might I get there? I traveled there. Easiest way, Herman replies, easiest way is through the big monkey head idol. Iter facilimus intrale peridolum magnum capitis simiae. So the easiest way is to enter through the large idol of the head of the monkey. I went in there myself years ago. Ab hinquid multos annos eguipse sic intravi. So many years ago, I myself thus entered in that way. Here's another case where I guess it would be hook, seek. I mean, seek still works, right? Like I entered in this way that we're talking about. I guess it still works to seek. But yeah, many years ago, I myself entered in this way. And then you'll need a key to open the thing up. Oppo sigitores tibi clavi qua caput aperiatur. Therefore, there is need for you for a key with which the head might be opened. I got one from some of the locals. hankab indigenis oliacepi. So this I once received from the natives, from the indigenous folks. And then, if for some reason Guybrush discovers the location of the LeChuck's hideout before having this conversation with Herman, you get a shorter version of that dialogue. I think there was actually a bug in most release versions of the game where you'd actually get this version of the dialogue instead of the full version. Like the variables were switched, so you'd get this version if you hadn't found them yet, and you'd get the earlier version if you had found them. So it was backwards in the special edition or the Ultimate Talkie edition. I think that's one of the things that was supposedly fixed. But yeah, the shorter version of that. But I've got to rescue the governor first. Said non prius perficis gemor cum gubernatric in Venero. But we will not set out before I will have found the governor. I think she's on that ghost ship underground. Quam credo esse subterrain illa nave phantasmatica, whom I believe to be underground in that ghost ship. And then Herman just says, "Oh, okay. Oh, certe." So that's that. And then... Okay. And then Herman tells you more when you ask him what he lent to the cannibals. He gives more information. I lent my banana picker to them, and they never gave it back. Me winstrument vad ariena scarpendas ies commodavi, quod non cum reditons. So I lent my instrument for picking bananas to them, which was never returned. As collateral, they gave me this enormous cotton swab. Hoc autem praelongum xylospongium biceps pignoria capi. However, this long this long two-sided toilet sponge, I received as collateral, or as in gambling context, pignos means like a wager or whatever, but in a loan, yeah, this is the word you use to describe the collateral. But yeah, I have received this very long two-sided toilet sponge as collateral. It opens the monkey head, see? Quod caput simii videtur aperere, which seems to open the monkey head. Oh, and I guess if you're hearing about the monkey head for the first time right now, it opens the big monkey head idol they worship. Quod idolum magnum capiti simii veneratua bis aperet. Which opens the huge idol of the head of the monkey, venerated by them. It's not like I ever need to go into the monkey head, but if they want it back, I've got to have my banana picker first. It's a matter of pride, you know. Mihi scilicet nihil uncum causaist. There's another proto-elision. Mihi scilicet nihil uncum causaist cur caput intre, sed id prius non tredum cum me instrument recipero, nom mihi existimatio tuendast. So for me, obviously, there's never any cause why I should enter the head. but I will not give it back before I will have received my instrument. For I must defend my good name. So I thought that was the best translation of this concept. It's a matter of pride, right? So your existimatio, your reputation, and existimatio is also like your reputation in terms of like your, I guess what the equivalent of what today is your credit score, right? It's like your, except it's yeah, whether people are willing to lend to you based off of your good name. So as both the meaning of both those meanings, protecting his maybe business interests, protecting his credit score, and then also just for like petty reasons of pride, keeping up his reputation as a certain kind of person that he wants to be known as, I guess. Okay, and then oh gosh, when we get to the shopkeeper later on, there's so much with the note of credit you get from him. I just trying to find so much like jargon for loans and like all this technical language, and it's just so confusing. All this banking language, and then I told you about them borrowing my banana picker and never returning it, right? So I think at some point he probably just mentions this as a hint. So, non e tibi dixtieos me instrumento ad arienas carpendas, mutuatos esse, nequunquam lede dice. So didn't I say to you that they borrowed my instrument for picking bananas, and nor did they ever return it. And then when you ask where his pants or what happened to your pants, he just says, "What pants? Quae barakai." So yeah. Implication maybe he's never worn pants, even when he sailed here in the first place. And then when you ask him, to give you the key to the monkey head, he says, "No, I need it to get back my banana picker." "Nolo, non sine clavi me instrumenta de arienas carpendas, ercipere non potero. So I don't want to, for without the key, I will not be able to receive my instrument for picking bananas. And then, let's see. Okay. And then when you do get his banana picker back, you give it to him, and he says, "Hey, thanks." "Okay, gratias tibi, well done, thanks to you. I thought I'd never see this again. Timut uncum rorsos hic videre." So with causes of fearing, timio, ne is you fear that something is the case, and timio ut is you fear that it's not the case. So and you would use then uncum inside the ut clause to express that negativeness. I feared that I wouldn't see this ever again. Here, you can take this key to the monkey head back to the natives. Indigenisum redanc clavum qua caput simiae resoretur. To the natives, return this key, which opens the monkey head. Okay, certe. And don't worry, I won't use it or anything. Guybrush says. Et sinicuresis non est an animo mi hipsi clavi uti. and be without care, for it's not in my mind, it's not my intention, it's not the intention for me, myself, to use the key. And then, let's see, no thanks, I've got one. Oh, so I think this is like, if you try to give Herman one of the many things that you kind of steal from him, like the spyglass or whatever. Oh, yeah. No thanks, I've got one. I sure wish I could find it, though. Yeah, so, gracias. Sedium mihis. Oh. Sedium mihis aliud isto seminimo. So thanks, but there's already to me another one similar to that one. Nescio tamen ubisit meum. I don't know, however, where mine is. And then, what the heck will I do with that? Isto que keepere a quidno meher lewening. Why ever, by Hercules, would I wish to receive that thing? So once again, I mean, it's just a neuter. Neuter because this is supposed to apply to like any other item that he just doesn't want. And hopefully that works. Just using the neuter to just refer to a thing, that thing there. Oh, and I guess I'm using, istok instead of istod. Using those kind of those forms of demonstratives are more common in like Roman comedy and archaic Latin, but I don't know. I've been using them quite a bit in this translation here and there, as part of that kind of flavor, I guess. And then you give him the breath mints. Hey, breath mints! Yo, pastillos! Hooray! Lozenges! Yeah. A pastillos was, in Roman times, like just some little roll or something that people could take, either as a candy or to freshen their breath. Like the idea of breath mints. I don't know if they used mint for it, but the idea of like sucking on something to improve your breath was something the Romans had. And then this is what I miss most about civilization. Hae sunt res humanae quas hoc in loquin culto maxime desidervo. So these are the human things or the civilized things which I missed most of all. Which I miss most in this uncultivated place, in this unsettled place, or uncivilized place. But it could mean either. He is literally mostly living in a jungle too. So, money is not much good here. If you try to give him your money, hic pecunia parum valet. So here. Here money is worth very little. I've already read enough memos to last a lifetime. So this pile of memos you pick up, which looks like we're gonna get to soon. I might save that for the next video and stop after I'm done with Herman's bit of dialogue here. Don't worry, this isn't all of Herman's dialogue. There will be more. But so you try to give him one of the many memos you've picked up on the island. I've already read enough memos to last a lifetime. Tanti codicili mihi sunt ut omnes non cum legere posse. So I already have so many memos that I may never be able to read them all. And then if you try to give him back his oars, try to give him the oars that you recovered from the bottom of the chasm. No thanks, I have my own. Although someone threw them into a chasm. Gratias, sed iom remo sabio, qui tamen in iatum iacti sunt, nescio quo. Thank you, but I already have oars, which however, were thrown into a chasm by I don't know who, by someone. Nescio quis is another way. Let's just say someone, but yeah, I don't know who. And then what the heck would I do with that? Istuca equipere quidnum Herclevene. Why by Hercules would I want to receive that? Okay, and then memos, lots of memos. Maybe I will save the memos for next time. Keep this video just mostly about Herman Toothrot. So I will stop there. Valete.